Did you know Machiavelli actually documented 9 hidden weaknesses in women? Weaknesses so deep they're wired into her DNA? Most men have no idea they exist, but the men who know, they don't chase women. Women chase them. Today, I'm exposing all 9. And once you see them, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Why can a woman spend hours editing just one Instagram photo, adjusting the filter, reshaping the lighting, tweaking every little angle until it looks perfect? It's not vanity. It's not just about aesthetics. It's validation. Every like, every comment, every "you look beautiful" triggers a chemical reaction in her brain. It's the same pleasure center that lights up when someone takes a drug, wins a jackpot, or gets a hit of sugar. Psychologists call this dopamine reinforcement. And once her brain links validation to pleasure, it becomes addictive. Now, here's the Machiavellian truth. Most men are giving validation away, like tap water. They flood women with likes, emojis, fire reactions, endless "you're gorgeous" messages, hoping she'll notice them. But here's what happens. When something is abundant, it loses value. The supply is infinite, so she doesn't have to earn it. That's why women scroll past 99% of male attention like it's background noise. It doesn't register. It doesn't excite her. It doesn't matter. But here's the secret. Validation is only powerful when it's scarce. Think of it like a rare diamond. If everyone had one, it would mean nothing. But if only a select few possess it, it becomes priceless. That's the mindset you must adopt. You are not another man competing for her attention. You are the dealer of her favorite drug, but you control the doses. Here's what that looks like in practice. Don't be the first to like her picture. Make her wait. Let her wonder if you even noticed. When she brags about an achievement, don't shower her with over-the-top praise. Stay calm. Say something neutral like, "interesting." Then switch the subject. If she tries to fish for compliments, resist the urge. Let her earn them. Now, here's where it gets powerful. When you finally do give validation, it hits her system like gold. One well-timed "you're amazing" from you will mean more than 100 comments from every other guy combined. Because she's starving for it, and you're the only one who can satisfy the craving. This isn't cruelty, it's psychology. It's called intermittent reinforcement, the same principle that makes slot machines addictive. The player never knows when the next hit of dopamine will come, so they keep pulling the lever over and over again. In relationships, this means she'll keep chasing you, keep testing you, keep craving that next dose of validation, because she can't predict when it's coming. And here's the kicker. Women don't fall for what they can control. They fall for what they can't. If she knows you'll always be there with endless compliments and attention, she'll get bored. But if she never knows when the next hit will come, you stay mysterious. You stay valuable. You stay addictive. So remember this rule. Never give validation for free. Guard it. Control it. Deliver it in small, unpredictable doses. When you do, you'll notice a shift. Suddenly, she's not scrolling past you. She's waiting for your response. Suddenly, she's not ignoring your presence. She's chasing it. This is the first weakness Machiavelli would exploit in today's world. And once you master it, you flip the entire game of attraction on its head. If validation is her drug, then uncertainty is the spark that keeps the addiction alive. Here's the harsh truth. Predictability kills attraction. When a woman knows exactly what you'll text, when you'll reply, and how every date will go, her brain checks out. It becomes routine, safe, familiar, and routine is the enemy of passion. Think about it. Why do so many women obsess over men who treat them badly? It's not masochism. It's biology. The female brain is wired to chase what's unpredictable. When she can't fully control or anticipate a man, her instincts kick into overdrive. She starts thinking about him more, wondering what he's doing, replaying his words, checking her phone for his messages. In psychology, this is called the uncertainty principle of attraction, and it's one of the most powerful forces in human desire. Machiavelli himself hinted at this when he said, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." What he really meant was, power lies in unpredictability. People fear what they cannot predict. They also desire it. Now, let's break this down into strategy. Most men are consistent to a fault. They text back instantly. They follow the same patterns. Good morning. How was your day? Good night. They plan predictable dates. Dinner, movie, repeat. It feels safe, but it's boring, and boredom is fatal. If you want to keep her hooked, you must introduce uncertainty into the equation. Not chaos, not cruelty, but unpredictability. Just enough to keep her guessing. Just enough to keep her chasing. Here's how you do it. Break your patterns. If you usually reply within 5 minutes, sometimes wait an hour. If you normally call at night, call her in the middle of the day. Change the script. If she's expecting a romantic dinner, surprise her with something spontaneous, like a late-night drive, a rooftop view, or something adventurous she never saw coming. Be vague on purpose. When she asks, "What are you up to?" don't always give details. A simple, "just handling a few things," leaves her wondering. Her imagination will fill in the blanks, and it will usually exaggerate in your favor. Strategic absence. Disappear for short periods without explanation. Then return casually, as if nothing happened. That silence will echo in her mind, louder than any words you could have spoken. The beauty of uncertainty is this: it forces her brain to stay engaged. Psychologists have proven that the anticipation of reward is often more stimulating than the reward itself. It's not the gift that excites her, it's the not knowing when or how she'll get it. This is why slot machines are addictive. You never know when the next jackpot will hit, so you keep pulling the lever. In relationships, uncertainty works the same way. She keeps pulling your lever, texting, calling, chasing, because she doesn't know what comes next. But here's the warning. Too much uncertainty creates fear. Too little creates boredom. The power lies in the balance. You must be consistent enough that she feels safe in your orbit, but unpredictable enough that she never fully owns you. That tension, that balance between comfort and mystery, is what ignites obsession. When she can't fully predict you, she can't stop thinking about you. When she doesn't know when you'll call, every notification makes her heart race. When she doesn't know what's next, you become the adventure she can't quit. This is the second weakness Machiavelli would exploit in today's modern game of love. And once you master it, you'll flip attraction upside down. She won't just want your attention, she'll fight to secure it. If validation gets her hooked and uncertainty keeps her chasing, the emotional mirror is what bonds her soul to you. Here's the superpower. Name her feelings before she says them. When you do this, you're not just guessing her emotions, you're proving that you see her. And that's rare. Most men don't listen. They react. She says she's stressed, and he tries to fix it. She says she's upset, and he either apologizes too quickly or argues back. Neither works. But when you reflect her emotions with calm clarity, I get it, you're frustrated because no one's taking you seriously right now. Something magical happens in her brain. She releases oxytocin, the hormone of trust and bonding. It's the same chemical that flows between mother and child, between lovers after intimacy, between humans in their deepest moments of connection. Suddenly, you're not just another man. You're the one who understands her in ways she can't even explain herself. And that, my friend, is powerful. Now here's the Machiavellian twist. When you mirror her emotions, you're not just building closeness, you're gaining leverage, because emotional connection is influence. The deeper she feels understood, the more weight your words carry. But let's go deeper. Women often operate in emotional language, not logical language. When she complains about work, she doesn't want you to solve her problems. She wants you to understand the storm she's in. Most men miss this. They try to fix, they try to explain, they try to rationalize. That kills attraction. Instead, mirror. If she's anxious, you feel like everything's piling up on you right now, don't you? If she's jealous, it's not that you don't trust me. It's that you hate the idea of losing me, right? If she's happy, I can tell this win means more to you than you thought it would. Notice something? You're not agreeing. You're not disagreeing. You're reflecting. And in that reflection, she feels validated on a level deeper than compliments or gifts ever could. But here's where it becomes dangerous. Because once you create this bond, you unlock her primal fear of replacement. The moment she feels truly understood by you, the idea that another woman could take that away becomes terrifying. That fear makes her chase harder, fight for your attention, and invest more deeply into you. This is why the emotional mirror isn't just about empathy. It's about control. Not in a cruel way, but in a psychological way. You're giving her the one thing most men never provide, the feeling of being completely understood, and that makes her addicted. Think about it like this. She can find validation from 100 guys online. She can find unpredictability from the bad boy who ghosts her. But how many men can she look at and say, "He understands me better than I understand myself"? Almost none. That's your advantage. That's your edge. But here's the caution. If you use the emotional mirror without boundaries, you risk becoming her therapist, her emotional sponge. That's weakness. Machiavelli would remind us that the goal is not to drown in her emotions. It's to reflect them back with strength. The key is this. Understand, but don't absorb. Mirror, but don't collapse. Show her you get it, but remain steady, calm, and unshaken. That way, you're both her emotional bond and her emotional anchor. And when you strike that balance, you unlock influence most men will never touch. She'll open up to you, lean on you, and chase you in ways she can't even explain. This is the third weakness, the emotional mirror. The bond that goes deeper than attraction, deeper than desire. It reaches her core. And once you master it, you'll hold a kind of power most men never even glimpse. Every woman, no matter how confident, independent, or self-assured she appears, carries a primal fear wired deep in her DNA. What if another woman takes him from me? This fear is not cultural, it's biological. It comes from thousands of years of evolution where a woman's survival depended on securing the loyalty and protection of a powerful man. If another woman replaced her, she risked losing resources, protection, and status. That ancient fear never left. Today, it simply wears modern clothes: jealousy, possessiveness, overthinking. Here's where most men fail. They try to force jealousy by bragging about other women, flirting in front of her, or openly talking about female attention. That doesn't make her chase. It makes her resent you. It feels childish, amateur. The Machiavellian way is far more subtle. You don't shove competition in her face. You plant seeds of uncertainty that let her own mind create the competition for you. Because the truth is, her imagination is far more powerful than anything you could say. Think about this. If you tell her, "I was talking to this girl today," she might roll her eyes and dismiss it. But if you simply say, "I've got plans tonight," and leave it at that, her brain lights up. Who are you seeing? Is it work, friends, another woman? The not knowing is what drives her wild. Mystery is the weapon. Ambiguity is the strategy. Here's how to use it effectively. Be vague on purpose. Instead of oversharing details, drop hints. Let her wonder. Sprinkle in competition lightly. Casually mention a conversation you had, but don't name names. Let her imagination run. Stay centered. Never defend yourself with long explanations if she asks too many questions. Smile. Change the subject. The silence speaks louder than words. Protect your frame. If she tests you out of insecurity, don't get defensive. Stay calm, stay steady, stay mysterious. This strategy works because of something psychologists call mate-guarding instinct. Women naturally guard what they value. If she sees you as replaceable, she won't fight for you. But if she feels the subtle threat that another woman could take her place, her protective instincts explode. She invests more energy, more time, more emotion, because she fears losing you. Now here's the dangerous part. This fear is a double-edged sword. Used correctly, it makes her chase. Used recklessly, it breeds paranoia and destroys trust. The key is balance. You don't want her spiraling into anxiety. You want her leaning forward, giving more, trying harder, because she feels that competitive edge in the background. And remember, you don't have to prove you have options. The man who needs to say, "I've got women chasing me," usually doesn't. The man who simply carries himself with quiet confidence, who never seems too available, who never overshares his schedule, who lets her wonder, that man radiates abundance without a single word. That's the secret Machiavelli would use today. Not loud arrogance, but strategic mystery. When you combine this with the emotional mirror, the effect is lethal. She feels deeply understood by you, but at the same time, she knows. If she doesn't keep her spot secure, another woman could take it. That tension keeps her hooked. It keeps her fighting for your attention, for your validation, for your presence. It keeps her addicted. This is weakness number 4, the primal fear of replacement. Once you understand it, you don't chase women, they chase you. Every woman craves emotional security, not safety from the outside world. That's physical security. What she secretly craves is protection from her own emotional storms. Because here's the truth, women feel emotions more intensely than men. Hormones, psychology, and social conditioning all amplify this. When she's happy, she's radiant. But when she's hurt, stressed, or overwhelmed, her emotions can spiral out of control. Now, watch how most men respond. She cries, and they panic. She yells, and they yell back. She sulks, and they beg or apologize just to calm her down. In all 3 cases, the man collapses under her emotions. He loses his center. He tries to fix, to appease, to escape. And the moment he does, her respect drops. Why? Because he's showing her he can't handle her storms. But here's the Machiavellian secret. Don't fight the storm. Become the rock. When she cries, don't panic. When she screams, don't rise to her level. When she spirals, don't chase her with explanations. Instead, slow down. Drop your voice. Relax your body. Hold your frame. Look her in the eye and say, "I get that you're hurting. I'm here." That calm, grounded presence does something no man realizes. It regulates her nervous system. Her chaotic energy looks for something stable to latch onto, and when you refuse to break, she feels safe in your strength. That safety is addictive. She'll cling to it like oxygen. This is what psychologists call co-regulation. When one nervous system is dysregulated, it naturally calibrates to the energy of the more stable system nearby. If you break with her, she spirals further. But if you stay calm, she unconsciously adjusts to you. You don't chase her emotions, you lead them. Now, here's the Machiavellian edge. By being her rock, you create a subtle dependency. She learns, consciously or unconsciously, that only you can calm her storms. And once she makes that link, she becomes emotionally hooked. Think about it. Validation is something she can get from social media. Uncertainty she can find from any unpredictable man. But emotional security? That's rare. In today's world, almost no man provides it. Most men are too fragile, too reactive, too desperate to please. But you don't collapse. You don't break. You don't get dragged into the storm. You stand firm. That contrast makes you magnetic. She feels stronger by being with you. And because she feels stronger, she invests more, gives more, attaches more deeply. But here's the warning. Emotional security doesn't mean being her emotional punching bag. It doesn't mean tolerating disrespect or constant drama. Machiavelli would remind you, power without boundaries is weakness. So, you stay calm, yes. You anchor her, yes. But you also enforce your standards. If she crosses a line, say it calmly, but firmly. I don't accept being spoken to like that. The power lies in your ability to remain composed while still holding ground. That balance between unshakable calm and unshakable standards is what separates the man she respects from the man she controls. When you master this, you become more than a boyfriend, more than a lover. You become her emotional sanctuary, and a woman will fight harder to protect her sanctuary than almost anything else. This is weakness number 5, her craving for emotional security. The man who can weather her storms without flinching, that's the man she will never let go. Women have a sixth sense, a radar always scanning the room, not just for threats, but for status. It's ancient, evolutionary. Back in tribal times, her survival depended on attaching herself to the man the tribe respected. Today, that instinct hasn't gone anywhere. And here's the trap most men fall into. They think status is about flashing wealth, bragging about success, or showing off achievements. Wrong. That screams insecurity. True status isn't loud. It's silent power. A woman isn't just watching you. She's watching the world's reaction to you. How does the waiter treat you? Do your friends listen when you speak, or do they talk over you? Do strangers acknowledge your presence, or ignore it? This is why status is not about money, cars, or clothes. Those can be rented, borrowed, faked. But presence can't be faked. Presence is when you walk into a room and people notice, even if you say nothing. It's the weight of your silence, the authority in your posture, the grounded calm that makes others lean in rather than you chasing their attention. Watch two men in a conversation. One fills every gap with nervous chatter. The other speaks slowly, deliberately, leaving silence between words. Guess which one the room respects? That's what she's scanning for. Not the watch on your wrist, but the way the world bends, subtly, when you move through it. Now here's the psychological twist. When she sees others respect you, she feels proud to stand beside you. It elevates her in her own eyes. She doesn't just want a man she admires. She wants a man others admire. Why? Because being chosen by such a man raises her value in the social hierarchy. It's not vanity. It's survival programming. If her man is respected, she is protected. If her man is admired, she shines by association. This is why the smallest details matter. Speak less, but with weight. Every word should carry purpose. Walk with deliberate pace, not rushed, not hesitant, measured. Treat everyone with calm respect, yet never from a position of neediness. Even the waiter notices, so does she. Hold eye contact, not aggressively, but with quiet certainty. Machiavelli would say, status is perception, and perception can be engineered. You don't have to be the richest or most powerful man in the room. You just have to carry yourself as if you don't need validation from anyone in it. That self-sufficiency radiates dominance. Now here's the darker layer. Once she links her pride and identity to your status, she becomes invested in protecting it. She'll discourage you from behaviors that lower it. She'll brag about you to others. She'll compete with other women to hold her place beside you. But the reverse is also true. If the world disrespects you in her presence, if you let yourself get walked over, her radar will go off instantly. Attraction dies in silence, not with words. So your task isn't to chase her attention. It's to command the respect of the environment around you. Because when the world validates you, she doesn't need convincing. Her instincts make the decision for her. This is weakness number 6. Her status radar. The man who moves with silent authority, who doesn't beg for respect, but commands it effortlessly. He doesn't just win her attraction, he wins her loyalty. Because standing next to him feels like standing next to power. We live in an era starving for true masculinity. Look around. Most men today are fragile, approval-seeking, indecisive, glued to their screens, and terrified of confrontation. They've been raised to believe that being soft, agreeable, and endlessly accommodating is the path to love. The result? A generation of men stripped of their edge, their power, their essence. And women feel it. They sense it everywhere. This emptiness. That's why when a man finally shows up embodying real masculine energy, it hits her like a storm. It's rare. It's raw. It's like stumbling across water in the desert. But let's clarify. Masculine energy isn't about flexing muscles, shouting commands, or puffing up your chest. That's theater. Real masculine energy is deeper. It's the calm in chaos, the decisiveness when others hesitate, the ability to hold steady no matter how turbulent the storm becomes. Watch what happens in relationships. Most men, when their woman gets emotional, collapse. They beg, they whine, they argue. Most men, when life gets stressful, retreat into distraction, video games, porn, or mindless scrolling. Most men, when faced with decisions, delay endlessly, terrified of making the wrong move. This is weakness disguised as comfort, and women can smell it. They might tolerate it, even use it, but they never respect it. Now imagine the opposite. A man who moves with calm confidence. A man who listens without scrambling to appease. A man who decides swiftly, then stands by his decision without flinching. A man who doesn't seek validation, but radiates quiet certainty. That presence is intoxicating. It cuts through her defenses. Why? Because her instincts recognize strength when they see it. Deep down, she knows, with this man, I can relax. I don't have to lead. I can surrender. And that's the hidden truth. Feminine energy longs to surrender to true masculine energy, but only when it feels safe to do so. Most men never give her that chance. They're too busy seeking permission, trying to impress, or avoiding discomfort. This is why women chase men with real masculine energy harder than they chase wealth or looks. Money can be faked. Handsome fades. But masculine essence, calm, grounded, unshakable, cannot be manufactured. It's either in you or it's not. Now here's the Machiavellian twist. By embodying real masculine energy, you don't need tricks, lines, or games. You are the magnet. The scarcity itself does the work. Because in a desert, a single drop of water doesn't have to beg to be valued. But a warning. Masculine energy isn't about dominance without discipline. If your power lacks control, it becomes aggression. If your calm lacks standards, it becomes passivity. True masculine energy is balanced, firm but fair, steady but not rigid, powerful but not insecure. When you master this, you become more than attractive. You become irreplaceable. Other men blur together in a sea of weakness, but you stand out as the one who cannot be shaken. And once she tastes that, she won't forget it. This is weakness number 7. Her hunger for real masculine energy in a world drowning in imitation. The man who embodies calm, decisive, steady power doesn't chase her. He draws her in. And once she feels it, no trick, no player, no distraction can compete. Of all the psychological levers you can pull, none is more powerful or more rare than self-respect. Validation, she craves it. Uncertainty, it excites her. Masculine energy, it steadies her. But self-respect, that is what makes her obey her own attraction to you. Because when you refuse to compromise your standards for anyone, not even her, you activate the deepest instinct in her psychology: respect. Here's the brutal truth. Most men sell themselves cheap. They tolerate disrespect because they're scared of losing her. They let women cross lines, test boundaries, and walk all over them because they believe being nice will buy love. It doesn't. It buys contempt. Think about it. When a woman sees a man constantly sacrificing his dignity just to keep her happy, she doesn't admire him. She pities him. He becomes predictable, weak, replaceable. But when you hold the line, when you calmly enforce your standards, even if it means walking away, you flip the script. Suddenly she realizes something most men never teach her. Your attention is not free. Your presence is not guaranteed. Being with you is a privilege, not a right. That realization changes everything. Now, don't mistake self-respect for arrogance. It's not about being a tyrant, barking orders, or punishing every small mistake. True self-respect is quiet, firm, and consistent. It's the way you handle disrespect without drama. If she tries to manipulate, you don't argue, you disengage. If she insults you, you don't plead, you set a boundary. If she crosses the line again, you don't threaten, you walk. And here's the paradox. The moment she realizes you will walk if necessary, she starts chasing harder to keep you. Why? Because scarcity creates value. When she knows you won't bend just to please her, she feels a mix of fear and admiration, the exact cocktail that drives respect. Psychologists call this withdrawal power. The ability to leave makes your presence exponentially more valuable. This is why Machiavelli would say, "A man who does not fear losing a woman becomes the man she fears losing most." Self-respect isn't just about relationships. It bleeds into every area of life. When she sees you demand respect from the world, from friends, from strangers, she can't help but mirror it. You set the tone. You show her how to treat you. And the beauty of it? Self-respect requires no games, no manipulation, no lies. It's the simplest but most difficult principle. You must genuinely believe you're enough without her. You must be willing to lose her rather than lose yourself. When you live like this, you become untouchable. Attractive not because of what you give her, but because of what you refuse to sacrifice. This is the ultimate weakness in her psychology, her instinctive respect for a man who respects himself. A man who doesn't beg, doesn't chase, and doesn't crumble. Because deep down, she knows, if you don't respect yourself, why should she? But if you do, if you walk with unshakable standards, she'll never forget it. She'll never stop chasing it, and she'll never want to risk losing it. This is the ninth and final key: self-respect, the rarest quality in a world full of desperate men. Master it, and you'll never need tricks, lines, or games again. You'll simply be the man she can't replace. Every woman carries contradictions inside her, what she says she wants versus what she actually responds to. This is her final hidden weakness, and the one most men never notice. She'll say things like, "I want a man who's sensitive," but she chases the one who shows strength. Honesty means everything. Yet she'll lie about how she feels. "I want stability," but she craves the chaos of passion. These contradictions aren't lies. They're part of her psychology. She doesn't always know what drives her. Her emotions shift like tides, and her words often fail to match her actions. Most men either ignore this or get trapped in it. They believe everything she says literally, and then they're shocked when her behavior doesn't align. But here's the Machiavellian insight. Contradictions aren't flaws to fix. They're doors to power. When you notice these contradictions and reflect them back to her calmly, you trigger something powerful inside her. She feels exposed, seen at a depth most men never reach. Example, she says, "I just want honesty," but later hides something from you. Instead of yelling or accusing, you simply say, "That's interesting. You told me honesty was everything." How does this fit with that? That one sentence creates dissonance in her mind. She can't argue with it because you're not attacking. You're holding up a mirror. And that mirror forces her to reconcile her own contradictions. Most men fear this moment. They avoid tension at all costs, desperate to keep her happy. But tension is where influence is born. By calmly pointing out the gap between her words and actions, you position yourself as the man she can't fool, not even herself. This makes you rare, and rare equals valuable. Why does this work? Because deep down, women long for a man who won't just agree with everything they say. They crave a man strong enough to hold them accountable, even to their own standards. When you do this without anger or neediness, she feels both respect and attraction. And here's the deeper layer. Her contradictions are not just about relationships. They show up everywhere: career, friendships, values. When you become the one who notices patterns even she doesn't see, you step into a role few men ever achieve. You become the man who truly understands her. But the key is subtlety. If you weaponize her contradictions to belittle her, you lose. If you throw them in her face in anger, she shuts down. The power is in calm, steady observation. You're not punishing her, you're revealing her. And once you master this, she'll feel something unusual around you. Respect, mixed with fascination. She'll sense you see through her masks, her excuses, her contradictions. And instead of pushing you away, she'll pull closer. Because while contradictions confuse most men, you use them as a compass. This is the ninth weakness Machiavelli would exploit: her contradictions. The endless tug of war between what she says and what she does. Most men drown in that storm. The rare man uses it to steer. And when you do, you become unforgettable. Because nothing hooks a woman deeper than the man who understands her better than she understands herself. Now you know the 9 hidden weaknesses Machiavelli would use in today's world. But here's the key. This isn't about cheap tricks. It's about becoming the man women naturally chase. So if you're ready to master attraction, build magnetic presence, and never beg for attention again, hit that subscribe button right now, because what's coming next will change your life forever.